1980-81 saw a great FA Cup run for City. It ended with a fateful final against Spurs. Here in the fourth round against Norwich, it was 6-0 to City.
Kevin Bond, McDonald, Power, McDonald again looking for the long ball for Bennett, and finding him. Here's Power. Only Reeves in the middle at the moment, though Hutchison is arriving quickly. Mackenzie to McDonald. Gow. Reeves, Bennett is in space, but he hits it himself. Oh, what a magnificent goal by Kevin Reeves. A wonderful effort, and what an irony as one former Norwich player goes off. Within minutes, another Kevin Reeves gives Manchester City the lead. The ball was played through to Reeves. Dave Bennett, the substitute, was in space. He chose to hit it himself, and that splendid rising shot had Baker beaten completely, and Manchester City take the lead. And Baker then going in a little high as he challenged outside the penalty area. A free kick to Manchester City. Oh, a magnificent goal again by Manchester City. Gow with the perfect shot. And Manchester City go 2 in front. No expression of joy on the face of John Bond, but he must be so satisfied with that goal. Jerry Gow's 6th since he came here from Bristol City. So simple. The free kick for the challenge by Clive Baker, tapped short by McDonald. Gow with the sweet right foot shot. Baker never had a hope. 2-0 to Manchester City. Well, it's an almost identical position from that in the first half. And the two players who produced that fine goal over the ball again. McDonald number 3 and Gow number 8. Will they try the same move again? It's direct this time. And they do try it. And it's laid for Mackenzie. Well, Manchester City in a second half in which Norwich have so far looked the better team, have surely clinched a place in the next round. Another beautifully worked free kick. McDonald again tapping it short. This time there was no opening for Gow to aim at, so he rolled it to his right, and Mackenzie did the rest with that storming shot. Reeves on for Bennett. It's a chase. 1 against 1. The Norwich players arriving. Can he finish? 4-0. Norwich paying the price for throwing so many men forward. When Bennett was in the clear, it was a race against time more than anything. Norwich defenders desperately floundering in his wake. Baker did well to come off his line. Bennett went round him. The angle looked difficult, but he made light of it. And now Manchester City have earned a place in the next round. Bennett, Power's gone on another run in the middle. Baker comes and then hesitates. It's 5-0. Minutes gone, and the annihilation is complete. Power for the umpteenth time, going on a run down the centre, waiting for the long through ball, and when it came, Baker raced off his line. As Power clipped it, the defender's challenge certainly didn't help, and the ball went into the back of the Norwich net. So there'll only just about be time for this corner. Power curls it in. McDonald! 6-0. There was enough time for the corner, and there was enough time for Bobby McDonald to score his second goal in 7 days. A header again.
And Manchester City with Power and Mackenzie on the ball here this time. Power. Oh, I say, what a goal! The skipper, who has scored in every cup match bar one. rifles home a left-foot shot, and Manchester City take the lead.
And so, in his first season in charge at Main Road, John Bond led Manchester City out to that famous Wembley roar. City's opponents, Tottenham Hotspur, crafted by Keith Birkinshaw. And nobody would forget this 100th battle for the FA Cup.
Ray Ranson heading out. Hutchison doing enough to confuse Villiers and getting it back from Power. Bennett. Bennett battling away well there for City. Very persistent. He's coming through again. He's got Reeves in support here. Here's Ranson. Oh, and a flying header and a brilliant goal. Tommy Hutchison on the ground. And would you believe it? A fantastic header by the oldest man playing in the final. Kevin Reeves turned, floated the ball in. Ranson put it forward and Hutchison came through and scored. Ranson with the kick. Miller, Reeves underneath it. And now Hutchison to Mackenzie. Oh, tremendous goal! Steve Mackenzie. Fabulous shot. An absolutely outstanding volley by Steve Mackenzie, only 19. And just watch this one fly in. First of all, Paul Miller up to head the ball out for Spurs. Then Reeves competes. Then it comes out again for Hutchison. And Mackenzie hits it, and look at that.
It was a fabulous match, but the replay didn't go City's way, in a season when they'd made it to the semi-final of the League Cup and finished 12th in the league. By season 1983-84, there'd been a change of manager, and Billy McNeill was the man in charge. He came from Celtic with a big reputation, but he faced a tough task because he was the man who had to find promotion for City, as by now they'd slipped into the second division.
Superbly put in. That really was sharply taken for Parlane's 8th goal of the season. Paul Power with the cross, and it was so well controlled on the half turn, kept down with the inside of the foot, and it really fizzed past Rimmer. Parlane. And then went in off the goalkeeper. And it's the substitute who produces the victory. The 90th minute we make it, and how unlucky can Jimmy Rimmer get? He's kept Swansea in the game on a number of occasions. And the ball came back off the post from the shot from Davidson, hit Rimmer and went back over the line.
Derek Parlane had finished the season as top scorer with 19 goals, and 16 of them had come in league action. City just missed out on promotion, finishing 4th in Division 2. Billy McNeill was linked with Hibernian but decided to stay at Main Road and made a new signing, David Phillips.
Terry Murphy got caught by that challenge, but I think it was somewhat his fault. He wasn't as wholehearted as he might have been. Wilson. Must be by Smith, then is. 4 players around the 6-yard box for Crystal Palace. Locke, Cannon, White and Sparrow, as well as the goalkeeper. And Wilson finding Gordon Smith, who really had all the time in the world and took most of it. Kinsey chasing. Oh, he was pushed a bit, but he finished superbly. Beautiful piece of play. Fine finishing by Steve Kinsey. Pace combined with control, and that in spite of being hipped by Jim Cannon. Wilson. Baker, space on the right for Phillips. Two left of him. And yes, it was missed by Kinsey, but not by Melrose. Halfway through the second half, one goal between the teams, scored by Melrose of Manchester City. Baker, and here's Smith for number 2. Yes! What a good finish.
Against Huddersfield Town, a 2-0 victory. That was Clive Wilson starting it off, to Jim Melrose, on to Gordon Smith, and that was the first. There was a similar approach to the second. Clive Wilson on the left. This time, he kept the goal all for himself.
Kinsey did well. Smith! Yes! Kinsey and Smith combining were quickly taken through with only seconds of the first half remaining. Oh, that is an absolute peach. David Phillips. And he's better the one just before half-time by getting a second 3 minutes into the second half. Absolute thunderous finish by the Welshman. And on the first occasion that Dave Besant was beaten, he was rather waving the ball goodbye as it went over his head, but I doubt if he even saw that one. Wilson. Nice touch again from Jim Melrose. Gordon Smith, 2 to his right. And Baker couldn't get it in. Yes, he did. Mistake really by Winterburn, who seemed to have it and then lost it. Melrose. Referee allows play to go on. This is Phillips. In the right position at the right time was Phillips, and he was given the ball. Corner coming right on the 15th-minute mark. And May trying to get to it, and did! Spite of the efforts of the 17-year-old goalkeeper and the 18-year-old fullback, Andy May makes it 2-0 for Manchester City. May. They've given him a bit of room here, though. Melrose! That's the crucial one, surely. Ball hung in the air, but there was no challenge on Melrose as he made the header. May. Simpson in the chase. That's 4. The 18-year-old delighted. Melrose to Simpson. 6 goals in 9 games. What a start for him. Phillips! Yes! Another spectacular effort. How well was that £65,000 spent from Plymouth? Oh, he's loving every minute of it now.
The celebrations began, the crowd was on the pitch because City had finished 3rd in Division 2 and so gained promotion to top-flight football once again after 2 years in the wilderness. And a crowd of 47,000 had seen that 5-1 destruction of Charlton Athletic that put them there. Before the new season, Mark Lillis had signed from Huddersfield Town, the fee £130,000.
Last derby played here, City led 2-0 and United fought back to 2-2, so I wonder whether the reverse could happen. Simpson, May, Phillips in the penalty area, Wilson was too, and Wilson scores! His third good chance, and he puts this one away for City's first goal in 5 games. Andy May worked hard on the right, and when the ball came across, Phillips was in there, and Turner may have been unsighted when Wilson's header cracked into the far corner.
City finished 15th in the First Division. Billy McNeill left to manage Aston Villa, and the new man in charge was Jimmy Frizzell with a 2-year contract.
Simpson, Redmond, Moses is there, but Redmond is going all the way. Oh, it's saved for the last by Turner. What an enthralling start to the second half. And what a great young run by this 18-year-old. A long, long way, just poking it out there, and Turner saving the day for United. McCarthy in there with a header! And he's equalised! 1-1! Absolutely incredible! His first goal of the season, and it brings City level again. What a header! What a brilliant goal! And 1-1 the score.
City finished 21st and were relegated. Jimmy Frizzell became the club's general manager, and for the new season, Mel Machin was the man in the hot seat.
Keeps his flag down. Stewart's away. Paul Lakes made a fine run through the middle, but Stewart decided to hold it up for a moment. But here's Lake, here's Adcock. And there was a layoff there for David White that he ignored. Hinchcliffe, Stewart, and suddenly Huddersfield, having dictated the game for a spell, were under pressure, and I think they might have wondered whether right at the outset whether Paul Stewart pulling wide to the right was offside. McNabb, the shot is on. Goal! Neil McNabb, and that's how it goes for a team who are at the bottom. The first real strike in anger for Manchester City. Neil McNabb buries it past the left hand of Brian Cox, just inside the post. Adcock. And here's Stewart. Is it 2 for City? Yes. And Huddersfield's defensive weaknesses surfacing once more. Sprinting up on the outside. Here's Andy Hinchcliffe. Wasn't quite the right pass, but it's Adcock. His first league goal for Manchester City. The 100th league goal of his professional career. And it was perfectly delivered for him. 3-0. Huddersfield Town, one of the great clubs stuck in the 20s. But torn apart here again by Manchester City. It's still with Simpson. Going the outside route, and a goal for White. 41 minutes gone, 4-0. Stewart. Now Simpson and the extra charge of anticipation around Main Road when he's in possession. Adcock wanting it to drop. It does. It's 5. A second for Tony Adcock. Nixon very much in the fashion of goalkeepers these days. Coming out of the area to get extra distance, and he might get an assist here. Simpson. Here's Stewart, and it drops in for number 6. Adcock dispossesses Webster. He's on a hat-trick. He's got it. 7. And he's well on his way into his 2nd century. Adcock, splendid run by Hinchcliffe. Stewart's there, it's a tap-in. The ecstasy of 8 for Manchester City. 3 of them now to Paul Stewart. To go with the 3 for Tony Adcock. McNabb. Adcock looked at the linesman, the flag has stayed down. White, 9! Finishing here of the highest calibre. Certainly Huddersfield Town have had their shortcomings cruelly exposed, but you have to congratulate Manchester City on the way that they've taken advantage of what they've made with their flowing football. It's White. The 10th is there for the taking. It's going to be a hat-trick for David White, and 10 for Manchester City. A day that will be remembered at Main Road for a very, very long time indeed. What a day.
Despite scoring 80 goals in the league, City finished only 9th in Division 2 in season 87-88. The next year they scored 77 goals and turned out to go very much better. They were promoted back into the First Division after finishing in 2nd place. The man in charge was still Mel Machin, and he'd signed Ian Bishop from Bournemouth and Clive Allen from Bordeaux before the new season began, Allen arriving for a fee of £1.1 million, and the first game that season set Manchester City against Liverpool at Anfield.
Although Hinchcliffe is the most likely candidate at the free kick. It's shot, took a deflection, and just the break that Manchester City needed. And the Hinchcliffe shot took a wicked deflection off the Liverpool wall. But they don't care. City are level.
Gleghorn got up. They all missed it, and Nigel Gleghorn scored.
Again, they've summoned Hinchcliffe. 29 minutes gone. A Manchester City corner. Brian Gale, very useful in the air at set plays. It's a very deep one, and has it gone across the line from David White? It has. So the Hinchcliffe corner does the trick again, just as it did against Southampton here. He drives it deep beyond the far post, and David White's header.
Well, I'm sure Coventry will have worked and expected these corners to come in from Hinchcliffe, but they still can't stop them. Grizovic is furious with himself. Well, the first one unsettled the defenders, and this one now with 19 minutes gone, and David White makes no mistake with his second chance.
City working their way out of trouble. Redmond again. Oh, he's overrun that though. No matter. Allen might get on the end of this. Here he is! The master craftsman, Clive Allen.
Good jump by Anderson. Clear to Ince, who's been quiet so far. Right well. Morley was fouled off the ball by Beachmore. Referees are going to have eyes in the back of the head on Derby Day. That's a great ball from Hinchcliffe. Here's David White again. Allison full stretch, missed it. Oldfield, 1-0. City in front. And David Oldfield, whose last-minute goal at Brentford in the week was so valuable, has scored an even more important one now. Gary Pallister should have cut it out. His long leg couldn't reach it, and Oldfield took advantage. David White. Cut out by Ince. Donaghy in trouble. Great chance from Morley. Super save by Leighton. Late maybe. United all over the place. Morley! It's 2-0. 2 goals in as many minutes. Gale. Pallister. Duxbury. United have certainly fought back. Redmond in the way, not playing anything like as well as Alex Ferguson would want them to be. Oldfield, oh, Bishop, 3-0. Ian Bishop's first goal for Manchester City may have won the derby for them already. Paul Lake going forward, got a lucky bounce, great chance for 4. Leighton did well. Lake, Oldfield, 4-1. City have their 3-goal lead back, and the Manchester United comeback is halted. Sharp challenge by Gale. Bishop to Morley. Bishop again. Great ball to David White from Ian Bishop. Early cross, chance at the far post, just marvellous stuff. It's a dream day for Manchester City. And that's a goal as good as Jim Leighton has ever seen or been beaten by. Andy Hinchcliffe finishing on. The build-up though was magnificent. What a cross by White. And where did Hinchcliffe come from? He's the left back, remember? Bang.
Well, this is how Manchester City love to see David White marauding down the right, and it's produced a goal. David Oldfield. White. Ian Bishop got it beyond the far post, right on half-time. There's no offside, and White, if he plays it right here, will set up yet another goal for City. He has done. Ian Brightwell. Allen. Clive Allen! That is the measure of the man.
Well, here comes City again. Trevor Morley, who got the second goal. White. Oh, and that'll come for Allen. Typical Clive Allen.
On November the 18th, City were only 19th in the league, Mel Machin was sacked, and Howard Kendall was the man brought in as the new manager from Atletico Bilbao in December.
Redmond got it back for City. Bishop. That's a good ball for Morley. Can Allen reach it? He does, and that will please the manager-elect.
Peter Reid was a key signing for the club. He joined from Queen's Park Rangers on a free transfer and took the post as player-coach.
Driven long. Allen, good touch. Oh, that's brilliantly done. Allen's in, the substitute. That will do.
Spotted Allen, who makes some progress himself, and David White looked a little offside, but the goal is going to stand, to Millwall's annoyance. Lake. Mark Ward wants it rolled to the right, but Paul Lake goes his own way. White, still White. Hendry. Hendry again.
Hinchcliffe with the kick for Manchester City. Coventry City back in numbers. That's a good touch. Grizovic has come and missed that, and David White has scored for Manchester City.
Anderson, Ward is there again. The ball laid back for Brightwell to hit it. Oh, what a great goal by Brightwell! Laid back to him, left foot all the way, like an arrow into the top corner. A beauty. 1-1.
Megson ran over it. Hinchcliffe with the kick. That's not a good punch. Oh, and it'll fall for Hendry, who punishes the keeper. Brightwell. It's a good run. Oh, Heath has gone over, and White has scored. Good finish.
Ward is able to find Lake. He made a nice little dart ahead of the ball initially to be able to get possession. Megson doing likewise. Oh, and David White! It's a splendid goal.
Won 4 of their last 6 games and so avoided relegation, finishing in 14th place. Clive Allen top scoring with 11 goals.
That's misjudgment by Bergson. This is Mark Ward for Manchester City. Reed. Brightwell playing at right back. And it's a good cross for Quinn! Delivered by David White. Met by Niall Quinn.
Adrian Heath was saying to me yesterday that Lake is as talented a footballer as he's ever played with. That's quite a compliment when you think of the likes of Trevor Stephen and David Platt. Here's Adrian Heath himself. There's talent for you.
In the 4th game of the season, Manchester City were away to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. The match finished 1-1, but City had been ahead. Mark Ward setting off this move down the right, delightfully weighted through ball to Adrian Heath, and David White finishing in classical fashion. This was against Norwich City. The man with the through ball, it was the big striker Niall Quinn, and Mark Brennan, a summer signing from Middlesbrough, was there to convert City's second in a 2-1 win. Against Coventry City, this move started by Ward, through to Peter Reid on the far side, back to David White, his shot rebounds, and there's Alan Harper to shoot home. That made it the first 1-0. The second came from Brightwell, crossing on the right, Kilcline's header out, but back the ball came, eventually falling kindly for Niall Quinn, and there was the second.
Third time lucky to Reid. Ward. Quinn. Allison, there's still a chance for Quinn. Chance for White. 1-0. David White gives Manchester City the lead. Hendry. White first to it. Owen in. Poynton. On towards Ward. Redmond. Heath. Lovely flick. David White with another great chance. Oh, I say, what a fabulous goal. 2 goals in 5 minutes for David White and for Manchester City. Paul Ince. Lee Martin. Harper's outstretched leg. Hendry still forward. Now, never quite sure what he's going to do next. Quinn. Hendry going on. A moment of glory. Isn't it just? Flying high. Colin Hendry makes it 3-1 for Manchester City.
Good turn by Megson. Reid. Now they need his inspirational qualities now. Poynton playing it forward. White gets in. They don't know the meaning of defeat at Manchester City. They won't lie down.
Manchester City were going well when Howard Kendall decided to go back to Everton as their manager. And so, the new man in charge at Main Road as player manager was Peter Reid. His first game in charge was against Luton. And here, Manchester City's opening goal. Heath right through the defence and David White getting the goal. City's second goal came from a set piece, the sort of goal they'll have worked on times on the training pitch. Three touches and then Steve Redmond, and the goalkeeper had no chance. Manchester City 2-0 up, but Luton came back to draw that one 2-2.
Mark Ward maybe. Oh, and Grobbelaar had to make a good save. Ward found a way through. But in stoppage time, Bruce Grobbelaar denied him. One last chance maybe for Manchester City. Quinn's header, it's in! Now Quinn has saved it!
Niall Quinn was the man on target against Queen's Park Rangers. He got both goals as City won by 2-1. Here, Heath and Brightwell combining, and then it's Niall Quinn on the receiving end. Gary Megson starts the second. Lovely ball finds David White. And White's cross, well, it's perfection. We see it time and time again. White to Quinn. Quinn gets the goal. City win 2-1.
Manchester City still coming on strong, but still trailing to the Gascoigne goal. Oh, Clark! And it finally went in off Redmond.
City lost 2-1 away against Southampton, but a cracking goal it was for City. Brightwell and White linking up. Eventually it was White's cross, and there was Niall Quinn's bullet header. City were to enjoy better fortune against Sheffield United, beating the Yorkshiremen by 2-0. It was Peter Reid with a powerful run who set up this move. The cross comes in from the right, and it's Ward who hits the ball first time to put City 1-0 up. Ward's second again was started by Reid. Brightwell was waiting on the right wing, and his cross, Quinn almost gets there, but then in pops Ward. Beautifully struck, curling into the top corner.
16-1 in the FA Cup. Many people feel this could be their season. Poynton, pursued by Ford. Oh, and he gets in a really good cross as well. White, Quinn, great goal, City. But what a fabulous cross from the left by Neil Poynton. 5,500 City fans in a crowd of about 20,000. Niall Quinn's 11th goal of the season. And didn't he take it well? But what a fine cross that was from a deep position. White missed it, Quinn didn't. And Wood was hopelessly beaten. Here it is again. Well, that's the sort of cross that a big man like Niall Quinn loves to get and loves to feed on. But the finish was perfect. Quinn on the near post. Allen lurking behind him. So too is David White. Mike Ward will take it. Quinn looks for the flick on, and it's there. Well, has a substitute ever had more impact? It's his first touch of the ball. He's just come on, and Peter Reid got it dead right.
David White and Niall Quinn many a time struck up a winning combination. Here, Norwich City were on the receiving end. White with the cross, Quinn unstoppable in the air. City won this game 2-1. Here, the dead ball kick from Mark Ward, the header from Quinn, and there's David White.
Up towards Quinn and Megson making a run. Gary Megson, superbly done! It's his first of the season. Poynton, and Kenneth's the long one through the middle. Dorigo slips, and here's a chance for White.
Against Luton at Main Road, it was Niall Quinn who opened the scoring. Alec Chamberlain, well, he was just too far out of goal. Clive Allen had been the other scorer. Quinn made it a 3-0 victory. This time it was White on the right, once again finding Niall Quinn in the box. Not too many men are better in the air than Niall Quinn. City go 5th in the league. Against Coventry, Allen scored the only consolation. There was an almost identical goal against Southampton for Clive Allen. Redmond the dead ball, and Quinn on the head, and then Clive Allen. That made it 1-1 at that stage. City went ahead through Brennan with this free kick. It was to finish 3-2 in City's favour. David White, Brennan, Ward and Heath all linking up in this intricate move. And David White gratefully crashing the ball home. In April against Palace, Quinn scored a hat-trick. Here the opener involving Ward and Heath and Harper before Quinn gets the finishing touch. Quinn's second was a familiar story. Wide on the right, you guessed it, David White, and there's Niall Quinn. The third and the hat-trick started with a free kick taken by Heath, and there's the header, once again, Niall Quinn supreme in the air. That was a 3-1 win to Manchester City. Against Forest, Big Niall once again, the head forward by Ward, and there's the big Irishman. That made it 2-0. City weren't finished though, they won by 3-1. Heath takes the free kick, and there's Redmond. Against Leeds United, the corner comes over from the right. Watch for Niall Quinn on the near post, Andy Hills on the far post. City won this game by 2-1, and here's the second. The long clearance from Coton. Quinn on the end of it, then White and Brennan. The cross comes in, and of course, who had to be there? Niall Quinn. Against Arsenal, it was Mark Ward who sent through this through ball. The Arsenal defence waits for an offside flag. It never comes, and there's David White, cool as you like. Ward also got on the score sheet, and it finished 2-2. Against Derby County, the free kick taken by Redmond. An awful hash of it by the Derby defence, and eventually Quinn gets the goal. City must have thought it was Christmas. Derby defence under no pressure at all. Somehow, Kavanagh and Patterson give it to David White. Through he goes. In it goes. City win it by 2-1. Manchester City beat Aston Villa by 5-1. It was an afternoon David White would never forget. Here's his first. The second started with a long clearance from Coton. Quinn was on the end of it, and White was waiting to mop up the pieces. White was the supplier of the third. As usual, making ground down the right, and Mark Brennan waiting in the middle. On this particular day, though, David White simply wasn't to be denied. This time, Niall Quinn sets him up, and White finishes with style. That was the hat-trick. Still, there was more to follow. Coton, the long clearance. Again, Quinn winning it in the air. This time it goes to White. Quinn wants it back. White, though, has goals in his eyes. That was his fourth. City had won 5-1.
And Quinn is onside. If he can get it down here, there's trouble for Sunderland, who scored. Niall Quinn, after 10 minutes. Point and throw. Heath. Hours missed kicks, and Quinn has equalised. Desperate moment for Hours. Quinn. Heath. And that completes it for Manchester City. David White.
Peter Reid proved his worth at the City helm, taking his team to 5th place in the First Division. And not surprisingly, we seem to see most of them, Niall Quinn top scoring with 20 league goals. Keith Curle became the most expensive defender in Britain, signing from Wimbledon for £2.5 million. The first game of the season was away to Coventry City. Manchester got the result they wanted. City took it by 1-0, and the City goal was scored by Niall Quinn. Almost inevitably with a header. Against Crystal Palace, City won by 3-2. Brennan scored a couple of penalties. The third was this one from David White. White and Reid involved in the build-up. Reid here onto Brennan, and then watch for David White supplying the finishing touch. There again, the cross comes in invitingly from Brennan on the left. And David White, sweetly, first time, no mistake.
And now Curle. Quinn. Linking up with Megson. For White. It's White's shot. David White for Manchester City.
Against Spurs, Keith Curle set up this one with a free kick, and for a big man, good close control from Quinn. City win it by 1-0. Against Sheffield United, Manchester City picked up a 3-2 victory. The ageless Peter Reid setting this one up, a fabulous through ball, and Mike Sheeran does the rest. Here against Southampton, a Curle free kick, and there's Niall Quinn. City were to go on to win this one by 3-0. The second began with a throw-in on the left. Mike Sheeran was lurking on the edge of the box, deadly in off the post. An own goal completed an emphatic victory for City.
Heath, stopped by Blake, but not before Heath got the ball through to Sheeran. Deep cross there, too high for Quinn, but not for White, and it's in there!
Against Queen's Park Rangers, Manchester City draw 2-2. Lovely through ball sets up David White, and a fine right foot strike.
Thomas, who hasn't played for England for a couple of years, to get back in the business, but White has equalised, has gone in. There was a moment's hesitation. I'm not sure that he hit it absolutely cleanly. And White will reach it. Where's it going to drop? It's dropped into the net. And it's another 2 goals showing at Liverpool's expense from David White.
Poynton's cross. Oh, here's Niall Quinn and Peter Reid. The player-manager has given his side the lead and shows again that if midfield players will get into the penalty area, there's always a chance that you might get a goal.
City score a thumping 4-0 victory against Luton Town. The first of those goals comes from Andy Hill. Let's see some more of the goal action from that game. Poynton starting off this move. But talk about quick thinking and talk about Adrian Heath. Just watch this. A quite delightful little lob, and City on their way to an emphatic win. Against Aston Villa, this move was set up by Steve McMahon, working a 1-2 with David White. Spots his man, and it's Niall Quinn. City win the game by 2-0, and again for the second goal, the provider is Steve McMahon, this time through to David White. Against Leeds United, the corner's taken by Brennan, and Hill scores with the header. Steve McMahon sets up the second, through ball from Mike Sheeran, that's 2. More goal action from the same game. Again, the architect from midfield is Steve McMahon. Niall Quinn waiting on the right. He had plenty of support and went his own way.